Dollar.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of VC TV, the Venture Capital TV, a platform where we connect investors with startups, startups with investors. We share knowledge. We do a lot of discussions about a lot of topics. So yes, I'm back again on this week, and I'll be back more regularly from coming months as well. So yeah, I'm serving the last day of my hotel quarantine in Singapore after my travel to Dubai. I'm back, and this is my last day of the quarantine. I'm so excited to go home. So today we're going to discuss about tokenization and equity tokenization. And hi, today I'm joined here by Hisham Wahabi from Cultive Ventures in Egypt, and Jess as well, who is trying to sort out his microphone while we speak. So, Hisham, while we wait for the speakers, let's just start with you. Can you help introduce yourself to our audience?
Excellent. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Hisham Wahbi. I'm one of the principals in a company called Cultive, which is a company based in Egypt working with entrepreneurs and innovators in general. And I also am a member of the investment committee for Cultive Ventures, which is a fund management company, a VC fund management company. And we have a specific interest in technology. It's very exciting to be talking about the space of blockchain and virtual assets and so on. We have a couple of companies working in the fintech space and in the blockchain space. And we are, as well as part of Cultive, we're developing our own platform that is going to be, we're interested specifically in creating tokens or virtual assets that represent equity in startups. So this is the interesting part for us.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Very interesting to know. Let's have a quick, let's have a thorough discussion, because I think you are the only speaker today, if I'm not wrong. Sure. I think Josh is having problems logging into StreamYard, but it's okay. But it's okay, no worries. Okay, equity crowdfunding concept, which was made very popular in late 2010. So but however, we realize one of the biggest problems with the current equity-based crowdfunding is a lack of a secondary market of the issued securities, right?
Yeah.
In late 2016, the concept of ICOs, which is the initial coin offering, became quite popular. He's joining again. So in 2018, itself, blockchain projects have raised more than 14 billion USD through ICOs. Globally, most of these projects have used ICO to finance their blockchain-based business model. However, there's a huge scope of tokenizing equity instruments of both digital and non-digital business models. The rise of securities token offering is just a matter of time. Today in this webinar, we're going to discuss whether securities token is a natural evolution of equity crowdfunding market, and what's the difference between tokenization using utility token and security tokens, and so on and so forth. So yes, what is as an opening question, what is tokenization and what are the types of tokenization?
Great. Well, thank you for the question. I'm actually not an expert on the different types of tokenization or in technical terms, but tokenization to me is how do you turn assets that represent real assets in the real world into something that can be traded in a virtual environment. So obviously, Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies are a type of token, but those are the simplest, in which you're just representing value or cash. I think the really interesting part, which we're starting to get into now, is how do you tokenize whether it's real estate, whether it's non-fungible assets, whether it's other kinds of possessions or and so on. The part that, as I mentioned, we're interested in, how do you tokenize equity? So instead of having to go to a specific authority and with certain paperwork to trade your equity ownership, you can trade it in a virtual environment. As you said, it's a very interesting space. It started in early 2000s or 2010, something around that time, in which we started seeing many of the crowdfunding platforms and many of starting with Kickstarter, started pushing this space. But then we started seeing some other startups and some other initiatives in which you want to really give equity to against the funding that you receive for a startup, or for a new product or a new project of any sort. There have been a number of attempts to do this without tokenized or virtual assets or cryptocurrency or blockchain-based technologies. But I think it started really getting interesting when we started seeing the concept of ICOs. Also, there was the Ethereum initially was opened really the space to see how we can use Ethereum to represent digital, whether it's digital contracts or and other kinds of equity structures. There was a couple of attempts, like there was a company called The Assembly, which was also working in this, started working in this space. But I think now it's really getting to the point where it's a really interesting space. What we're doing actually is we run an accelerator program, which we've been running since 2013, and we work with mentors. We work with experts from different fields who support the startups and work with the startups. And what we were really interested in, how do we reward those mentors with some kind of token in which that represents an equity or a return on their investment with their efforts in the startups. Once the startup is or the cohort of startups. So we take a cohort of, say, 10 startups, and we give the mentors a token that represents returns on that cohort, which they participated in supporting, so that in the future, when these startups start making money, then they can see a return on investment. As you said, the interesting part is to see the secondary market. You realize the returns in cash from those startups. You can start the trading those tokens on the future expected value of these companies.
Absolutely. Talking about tokenization case studies, we can just cover some of the topics if you are comfortable with. So we have seen traditional and non-traditional asset tokenization of bonds, real estate, funds, sports, films, movies, now NFTs, tokenization of the financial industry, asset management, wealth management, trade finance, and impact investing. So let's discuss each of these use cases, the ones that you are comfortable discussing, and why it is important to. I mean, what's the benefits of tokenizing these assets, and what benefit does it provide to the consumers?
Excellent. So again, as I said, I may not be an expert in all of these areas, but the one that we have made progress in is equity in companies or businesses. But yeah, as you mentioned, equity in real estate definitely was the first one that I think people started talking about, because it was how do we represent this very traditional thing that is very tangible with a token that can be traded. I've not heard of the tokens representing movies and other and those, but yeah, definitely representing art and representing non-fungible tokens and sports clubs. Those have been in the last month or so. Those have been on the rise. You started seeing the Barcelona and the AC Milan tokens and so on. But yeah, I think the I think that the idea here is this is a new space which everyone is trying to see how we can extract value out of it. So definitely the sports clubs, for example, started looking at this as how can we create a token that can create some kind of support for the clubs and for the players in terms of possibly funding it, possibly providing even if it's just a measure of how popular a club is and so on, and capitalizing on that in a way that can be turned into a tangible value.
Great. Okay, we understand all these benefits of equity tokenization, right? But what are the challenges currently that we see behind this?
There are many challenges, of course, and of course the first challenge is the one to be careful about is there is of course a lot of hype. There's of course a lot of speculation. So there's the first challenge is the risk of how do you really value these things and how much can you really invest in them, and of course it's with especially the non-tangible things like support for a club or support for for something it's very hard to put a value on. So that's, I think, one very important challenge. The other challenge of course is regulation, and I think that's the big elephant in the room that we need to is now under discussion in many ways. And I'll tell you, in Egypt, for example, it's very challenging. It's still not clear at all if there's a path towards doing that. And there are some countries that have started issuing regulation to allow these kind of things to exist and to support them and give them a path at least to see how we can explore them and test them and so on. So I think that's the main challenge. The great thing is we exist in a virtual space, and so you can always, regardless of where you are physically located, you can always incorporate or regulate your business that supports this kind of token in a country where this is feasible and where this is has the most chance of being successful, and that's what we advise startups that we work with to do, is to always look at the different jurisdictions and to see to study the countries that are taking the lead on this, and see which ones can are a best fit for whatever the application is.
So, do you work with startups? I do.
Sorry, again.
I do hear myself.
No, it's okay.
So what startups are you currently working with?
So we work with we only have a very few startups in our portfolio that are related to blockchain. But we do work with startups, for example, that are doing things in the space of how do we tokenize interest in different products, for example. That's one kind of thing that the one kind of startup. But this is something that's in a very early stage. And as I said, the other one is our subsidiary, in which we are developing this platform to support startups with mentorship through tokens that are used to reward those mentors.
So how?
If you'd like, I can tell you about specific startups in our portfolio, but we have, as I said, very few startups in the space of blockchain. The rest, I can tell you about some of our startups in other areas, but I think that's out of the scope today.
So when you say other, do you work only startups within Egypt, or?
Most of our startups are within Egypt or started in Egypt. We do have a couple of startups that started in Egypt and then went and started going regionally a bit more. But we are also invested in a couple of startups based in one of them is based in Saudi Arabia and one of them is based in Dubai. So So yeah, but mostly in Egypt. Yeah, our main focus right now is still Egypt.
Great. So do you see any challenges in terms of regulations or adoption of this new concept in Egypt as compared to Dubai? Because Dubai, I was in Dubai, as I said, that's why I'm here in quarantine.
Yeah.
It's very, very pro advanced in adopting cryptocurrencies. I'm saying
Yes.
cryptocurrencies, not blockchain technology.
Sure.
So they're
Sure.
very advanced. And I heard that they are planning to, one of the largest property, the builder MR. So they're planning to
Yeah.
tokenize and make it available to public. So that's like,
I've not heard of that.
leapfrogging, so and that's something that I've heard and we've discussed before, like in 2017, 18, but nothing really happened in the space. But now they are actually, I met asset managers who are actually working with clients and introducing this asset class, this investment class to their clients as well. So it was very interesting when I was there in Dubai to hear all these concepts, which were very much non-existent in reality, in practicality. We just used to discuss about this, but I think I think Dubai is very pro. But what you see in Egypt, is it like too advanced as well, or government is taking very careful steps in, before people
No.
assess
Sure.
they could
Yeah.
lose money on that or gain money?
No, as you said, Dubai is taking a very progressive approach, and it's very impressive to see. And as you said, I've not even heard about the Amar concept, but yeah, the compared to Dubai in Egypt, the government is actually taking a much more conservative approach, and still really studying it and testing the grounds. They have created, a number of sandboxes, kind of programs supported by the central bank to try and explore, some of these ideas and technologies. The government has issued. A recent, decision to allow banks and other institutions, financial institutions, to create virtual assets, but with very, very strict guidelines, and they have to be pegged to the Egyptian pound. So it's more of a virtual representation of the Egyptian pound at the end of the day. They're still very cautious about creating something that could be compared in value, can have its own free flowing value related to compared to fiat currencies. The space though of assets is still unclear. It hasn't come onto the agenda that much. We're still to see, but I think there's an opportunity there, because I think the government is really worried about the currency aspect, but the space of representing other kinds of assets perhaps is something that can be explored. And also anything that's builds on block, they do support, and they do encourage innovation in the blockchain space, as long as we're not touching directly the aspect of currency. So I think that's an opportunity to and here's the challenge for Egyptian startups and startups in other countries that have this same kind of government approach, is to how do you create a platform or create a technology that allows for this to happen in a way that doesn't directly threaten, or that looks safe to the regulators or to the government. So I think that's the challenge, and it's a different kind of challenge, but it's this is the opportunity if someone is able to do this, and we've seen this in other spaces like when the Uber and the other ride sharing kinds of platforms first appeared. They were challenged as something that was outside the law and so on. But once they showed that it's a safe environment, it's something that can be governed in some way, there was the opportunity for someone to step into that space. So it's the same here.
Great. Thank you. I think Hisham, very, very great insights about the ecosystem, Egypt itself. I have Josh now. Hi. Can you hear me? Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Great, great. Welcome to VCTV. How do you pronounce your name? Sorry.
Giuseppe Guccione.
Giuseppe. Sorry. If I pronounce it incorrectly, I'm really sorry about it. Giuseppe. So can you please introduce yourself, like what you do, and how are you related to equity tokenization? Are you working in that space, or what are you doing in that space?
Yes, I created a new token, PBT. Is a token linked to real estate investment. So my investor can buy and sell real estate, and their investment can begin through my crypto. In this moment, I'm trying to get funding for my crypto, and I'm interesting. For me, it's very interesting to hear your new news about strategy of tokenization, equity for tokenization.
So Giuseppe, which country are you dialing in from?
Switzerland.
Oh, it's open, right? It's completely open. The economy is open, right?
Yes.
Great. So we would like to know, why are you into this space? What's the advantages of tokenizing real estate? Because real estate is a very illiquid, previously very illiquid markets, right? So what are the benefits for the consumers?
Yes, there are three benefits, because my investors can become owner of my real estate investment, owner of my token, and so they can receive the ROI of my investment through my crypto. So when my crypto get more value, the ROI is more big.
Right. So what stage are you in the project? Is the token live now?
Repeat, please.
So your token, is it a utility token or a security token, or is it live now?
No, it's not a utility token. It can be used as a utility token too, because through token you can use it to for your holiday in our properties. But basically, it's a financial token.
So where are you incorporated of your offices, and where are you registered?
Yes, my company is company house, London, about crypto, and about real investment. I have another company based in London.
So what are the regulatory landscape you see in Europe, like in terms of crypto adoption? Is it like too many bottlenecks, or it's getting better in terms of regulations?
About regulation, I not need of a license for this activity, because my investor become owner of my real estate investment. So I need of a license financial for this type of investment, because I sell quote on my company.
Right. So I think, Giuseppe, you're also looking to list on exchanges, right?
Yes, right.
And what are the benefits of coming on exchanges?
Because through the exchange, I can get more investors.
Have you shortlisted any exchanges that you're looking to get on?
Can you repeat?
Have you shortlisted any exchanges that have you selected any preferred exchanges that you're planning to get on?
Not yet.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Hisham, would you like to share anything about equity tokenization?
I'm actually very interested to ask Giuseppe, if you're based in Switzerland, why did you incorporate in the UK or in London, as you said? Because as Sonny commented, I think Switzerland is one of the most supportive, conducive, regulatory environments for doing things with blockchain.
I use my company house, my London company, because a lot of my investment are in Milan.
In where? Sorry.
Milan, Italy.
Milan. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So I create for each investment a new company in Milan.
Okay, I see.
My company, my London company, participated to the new company with investors. So I need of a company in London based, because in Switzerland is not possible, because I'm an Italian citizen, and so I need of a London company.
Okay, I see. All right.
Oh, okay. Because you're an Italian citizen, you cannot incorporate a company in Switzerland. That's strange.
Yes, I live in Lugano. But I cannot use my Switzerland company in Switzerland to buy real estate, because of a regulation of this country is that an Italian citizen cannot buy real estate through the company, participated totally from an Italian citizen. So I have to use a London company.
I think it's very interesting insight. I wasn't aware of this, because I exactly like Hisham, I thought Switzerland is like so pro crypto with Zug. Yeah.
But I think this is perhaps an interesting opportunity for for countries in which they've started understanding the space, is to start thinking of a special kind of registration for companies which are global in nature and are not going to be operating in a specific jurisdiction, and can be based in their country, and that way they can capture the value of having that country paying charging the taxes and so on. If they allow more flexibility and more relaxed laws in which allowing citizens from other countries to incorporate in say Switzerland or in Singapore or wherever. It will be interesting to see as people start getting outside the box of the being tied to the physical space, and then starting to think in terms of virtual assets, whether the governments respond to that and start thinking how to capture value and capitalize on it. It'll be an interesting in the next 5 years or so to see that happen, I think.
I absolutely, totally agree. I think that I can already tell you that there are certain countries which are way progressive and in terms of adoption of asset tokenization as we speak, and we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff coming out of it. Do you have any of you, like Hisham or Giuseppe, anything to share with your audience today? Because we just have 2 speakers, we have another couple of minutes. Anything to share, Giuseppe?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
Sorry, I don't hear very well. Can you repeat?
Okay, so do you have a presentation to share to talk about your property token?
Okay. Yes, I can share with you. Where is the button for share?
Button there's a plus sign. Yeah, you just have to click that and share your screen. And if you have your presentation saved in your desktop, then you just have to click that.
Wait. I don't see.
Are you on the phone or are you on the laptop?
Phone.
I'm not too sure, actually. If do you see any buttons? What kind of buttons do you see at the bottom?
I see only chat, cam, microphone, or leave. I don't see. However, my website is blockchainpropertytrade.com.
Okay.
If
all
you
right.
Can
Okay. Good. Any last thoughts before we wrap up the show, Giuseppe, from you about your token? Just help. Like, what's the real use case of that token?
Sorry for my English. You have to repeat.
So we're going to wrap up the show now. So I just want to know your last thoughts about this topic, which is equity tokenization and the use case of your token, your property token. How can I, as a consumer, what kind of utility do I have if I invest into that token?
What do we have to do? Are you asking for me what the user, a normal user, have to do to invest in PBT? Okay, you can go to my website, so you can buy token using my website. I create a wallet and I can transfer my PBT according to your deposit. After this, I meet the investor one-to-one, and we create a new company for all investments that we can do together.
Great. Sounds good. Hisham, any last thoughts?
I don't have any specific presentation or anything to share. It's just the parting thoughts is looking forward to see in more and more innovation in this space. We are personally interested in investing in these kinds of technologies and blockchain based assets and so on. Will be interesting to see, as I said, the space develop and regulation develop over the next few years. And thank you so much for the opportunity today.
Thank you, Hisham. Thank you, Giuseppe, for your time today. And hopefully I'll meet you some other day on another topic of blockchain tokenization. So thank you so much. Audience, I'll be back tomorrow on another episode of VCTV. Thanks for your time today and take care of yourself. Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.